Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kayla. I'm an English teacher from the United States and I teach you natural English. Netflix is an incredible resource for studying English, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced English learner. If you have a Netflix account, it will give you access to some of the most popular and beloved American television shows. In today's video, I'll tell you what shows I recommend for studying natural English at all three of these English learning levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I have chosen the shows today based on ones that I truly enjoy. I would never recommend a show that I didn't watch or love. I hope that you find a recommendation for an American English speaking television show that you can watch and learn from in today's video. And make sure to comment your favorite English speaking television shows that you watch to study English down below. Let's get started with my favorite shows for beginners to learn English from. So let's talk about your English level. Maybe you haven't taken a test formally to understand what level of English you're at. Let's talk about what it means to be a beginner. You understand really basic English phrases and you are starting to feel like you can function in a conversation. Maybe you're not feeling confident and you don't have a lot of vocabulary to choose from right now. Simple plots and conversations in television shows are going to be very beneficial for you to learn from. My recommendation for beginner English learners is to watch shows that are geared towards a younger audience. So children or teenagers, because these shows will have very simple plots, and even if you don't understand every single word in the show, you will be able to learn from it and start picking up new vocabulary words. My first show that I'm going to recommend to you is the show Fuller House. This is a Netflix original television show, and it's based on the show that I loved when I was a kid called Full House. This show is about a family that lives in San Francisco, which is in California in the United States, and Full House was really popular in the 1990s. For me, it's really exciting to watch this show as an adult because I love the show so much as a child. Every show shows the family and they learn a lesson. The adults learn a lesson and the children learn a lesson based on what happened in that episode. The show is a comedy, so it can be very funny at times, and the dialogue is so simple you'll be able to pick up new vocabulary words while watching this show. So I recommend Fuller House. For beginners, I also have to recommend a cartoon. Cartoons are very easy to follow. They're typically shorter episodes than a long drama or a sitcom. So one of my favorite shows that's really popular on Netflix right now is Scooby-Doo. I hear so many English learners say that they learn from this television show because it's funny and everybody likes Scooby-Doo. And of course, as an adult or a teenager, it feels really kind of funny to watch cartoons sometimes, but this is an excellent way to pick up new vocabulary words because you can understand what's going on in the episode even if you don't understand every single word. So Scooby-Doo is another really funny show where every episode the gang, or Scooby-Doo's group of friends, they solve a mystery, and usually there's a scary monster that is messing with people, causing problems, and they have to figure out who is the scary monster. You'll love the jokes in this show, and maybe you could, if you do have kids, you could watch this show with them as well. The next show that I'm going to recommend for beginner English learners is iCarly. I love this show still to this day. It's very cute. It was on Nickelodeon and now it's on Netflix. The show was really popular amongst preteens in about 2007 in the United States. And even as the audience of the show has gotten older, people still love this show. The show is a sitcom, so again, it's a comedy with short episodes that follows a girl named Carly and her two best friends that start an internet show, and they name it iCarly. Carly is the main character, played by Miranda Cosgrove, and in the show she lives with her goofy older brother in an apartment, and they make their internet television show. Now that I've given you my best recommendations at a beginner English level, let's talk about what it means to be at an intermediate English level. If you don't already know your level, again, just kind of base it off how you function in a conversation and how much vocabulary you know. At an intermediate level, you can hold an English conversation about a lot of different topics. You're kind of beyond those simple conversations like hello, how are you, I'm fine. You can talk about things like sports, cooking, your favorite television shows. And when you're at an intermediate English speaking level, it's really important to also start to learn more cultural knowledge. So So if you're going to be around a lot of American English speakers, learn about American culture. And of course, watching these television shows is going to help you with that. The first show that I'll recommend to you as an intermediate English learner is How I Met Your Mother. Now, I've been talking to you guys on my Instagram at English with Kayla, and a lot of you are starting to really like this show. And I always side on the fact that I like How I Met Your Mother better than the show Friends, even though they're both American classics. They also have a lot of similarities because Friends and How I Met Your Mother both take place in the city of New York. And they both follow a group of friends that kind of live together, date one another, and hang out a lot. The cool part about How I Met Your Mother is that there are 7 seasons of this television show, and they all follow the main character, Ted Mosby. And it's like he's telling his children the story of how he met their mother in the past. So as you watch the show, you start to wonder who is going to be the children's mother? Who is Ted Mosby going to fall in love with and marry? So that aspect of the show is really heartwarming. So this show actually has a laugh track in the background. That means there's pauses in the dialogue for the audience to laugh, even though it's not typically a real audience. They just add that laugh track. It's kind of strange that shows do that in America. Do you watch shows in your country that also have a laugh track? Let me know in the comments. So the laugh track adds natural pauses in the characters' conversations, so you'll be able to sort of listen and start to comprehend more and more of the English that you hear on this television show. It wouldn't be American television without talking about a reality show. And the reality show that I am going to recommend to you today is one of the oldest reality shows in the United States. And by reality, I mean what's happening on the show is real. It's like they're filming people without a script. They're not writing what happens. Although they say that some reality shows are scripted, so keep that in mind. The show is Survivor. There are 40 seasons. Yes, 40 seasons of the show Survivor, and you can watch a lot of these seasons on Netflix. The show's premise is for contestants, or the people that go on the show, to compete against one another on 2 different teams that they call tribes. So the contestants are usually in a very remote location, and they are not given food or water. They are just given a few tools to try to survive on the island, as if they were camping. And they go through challenges and they vote one another off, and whoever is the last person is the survivor, and they win a lot of money. That's how a lot of contest shows work in the United States. Since this show is not scripted, it's a reality show, the conversations will be very natural, and you'll get to hear exactly how native English speakers speak to one another when it's not so scripted, or it's not just an English teacher teaching you how they speak. It's real life speaking. So if you're interested in authentic English, make sure to go check out Survivor on Netflix. I think it's an excellent show to become interested in and learn natural vocabulary from. If you are an intermediate English learner, I have one other suggestion for you. If you want to watch another sitcom or a funny show, and that show is one of my old favorites, Community. In the show Community, it's based on a very unique cast of characters. They all differ from each other. They don't have a lot in common, but they all attend community college with one another, and they are studying in a group for their Spanish class. So this is based on community colleges in the United States, and these are colleges that you attend to take individual classes, or you're working towards just a 2-year degree rather than a 4-year degree. And in this show, there's actually some very realistic aspects about attending community college. Of course, there's lots of things that are not realistic for the television show just to make it funny and interesting, but there's some really big actors that are in this show. I've also been told that I look like Britta in the television show, so let me know in the comments if you think I look like her. I've been told a few different times actually. She could be my doppelganger. Now let's move on to my recommendations for advanced English speakers, which I know many of you who watch my videos are advanced English speakers. So here are my recommendations on Netflix for you to watch and study and learn from. Again, if you're an advanced English learner, you can talk about many different topics in an English conversation. You know synonyms for many English adjectives and English verbs, and you are able to understand idioms and start using them in your daily vocabulary as well. Sarcasm and irony are really tough concepts to learn in a new language, so this is becoming important for you as an advanced English speaker so that you can start to feel like you are a fluent English speaker. And again, cultural knowledge is really important when learning a language, so these television shows will help you understand American culture as well. One of my all-time favorite shows is Arrested Development. It is hilarious, but there is some extreme sarcasm and irony, and you have to follow the show very closely to understand the jokes. One example of a complex joke on the show is when one of the main characters thinks his wife is cheating on him with a man named El Hermano. Now, for you Spanish speakers, you obviously know that this means the brother in Spanish, but the main character in the show does not know that means the brother, so he is looking for a man named El Hermano. As he keeps asking different people, have you seen El Hermano? They keep saying, oh yeah, he's over there, because they think he's referring to their brother. He doesn't understand that it does mean the brother, so he just keeps accusing everyone of cheating with his wife. Again, it's a very complex joke. You have to understand the dialogue going on in the conversation. So this show is best watched with subtitles, and make sure to go back and watch any scenes that you don't understand. All of the characters on this television show, the Bluths is the name of the family, are incredibly selfish and egotistical. It makes for really funny and clever jokes, and I definitely recommend this show to advanced English learners. Another really popular show on Netflix that will teach you all about life in the Midwest, because this show takes place in the city of Chicago, which is a very Midwestern American city, is the show Shameless. This show again is about a family, and this family is incredibly dysfunctional. There is a UK version of this show, but today I'm just talking about the American version because that's incredibly popular on Netflix as well. If you ever find yourself in the Midwestern United States, make sure you visit the city of Chicago. It's a beautiful city. There is lots to do and see when we are not in a pandemic, of course. So this show, Shameless, again focuses on a family, the Gallaghers, and they're very dysfunctional. They have drug and alcohol problems. It's very chaotic, but the show can be kind of sweet at times because the children really support each other and keep the family going. This show does have some really serious themes like poverty and addiction, but this show has some very funny moments, and it will help you understand the Midwest American accent too if you're studying that. My last recommendation to you today for advanced English speakers is a show called Billy on the Street. And I think this show was originally just online, but now it is on Netflix as well. And this show is kind of like a reality show and kind of like a comedy put together. The episodes are very short, so if you're looking for something quick to watch in English, this would be funny to study. This show is a bit out there, and by out there, I mean it's a bit strange. The man who made this show is named Billy Eichner, and he runs up to people on the streets of New York and he asks them questions. He's a comedian, so lots of times the questions are meant to be funny. Because of the spontaneous and surprising elements of this show, the conversations are really natural and people are often very confused by this man. So this is a great thing for advanced English speakers to study, how real conversations when people aren't expecting to be interviewed happen. Sometimes he just yells at people on the street and they yell back, and sometimes he offers them money to answer trivia questions. There's lots of different things on the show, but I think you'll find it pretty hilarious and just a very quick thing to study English if you're an advanced English speaker. Thanks for taking the time to study this English conversation with me. You can find the list of shows that I recommend below if you sign up for my email list. Follow me on Instagram at English with Kayla, where I talk about American culture. I teach lots of different idioms, phrasal verbs, just all sorts of natural English vocabulary. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so that I can be your English teacher every week. Thanks again for watching, and best of luck studying English.